be getting a procedure manual, which we did have approved last meeting. So I'll be putting it in everybody's box so they can read it. And that's it. So it's going to look like that.
Is that
Everybody
to each chairperson or to every member of the
employee?
employees?
Every person, right? Is that what it is? Every
Employee.
employee.
Everyone is an employee.
Yeah.
Or Jessica, maybe to the website.
Yeah, Joint Loss Management has a site on, a link on their site.
Yeah.
Our first catch up.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few pages.
Just explaining.
Oh, yeah. That's great. So, but that's it. So I'll make sure everything's on there and, you know, have everything done. Yeah. And then Brad's going to talk about. He's going to talk about.
It's going to snow tomorrow.
Are you sure?
I don't need to hear about that.
Yes, it's going to snow, then it's going to turn to freezing rain, then it's going to turn to rain. It's going to rain Friday. And Sunday's going to be 15 degrees. I'm full of cheery news tonight. Joint loss management / emergency management. Our emergency shelter kit did come in. It's a beautiful big blue box. It's over in the schoolhouse. If anybody would like to see it, I did take out, it includes 25 cots, 50 inflatable pillows, and 30 personal care hygiene convenience kits. I did take one of the cots out and set it up, tried it out. It didn't break. It held. It's great for anybody up to about 5'10". When you get much over 5'10", it starts getting a little short, but they're well built, they're rugged, they're aluminum and nylon, so they're easy to maintain. And there's additional room in the box for anything else we'd like to add to it. It's on casters, we can secure it, it has the ability to be locked. And we have our first aid kits now, and jump kit. There's one first aid kit in the bathroom here, and yes, it has already had a Band-Aid removed from it. And the other one will be going in the town hall, so we'll be all set with that. And that's pretty much what it is.
You also, we had a broken emergency egress on the back of the schoolhouse. And Brad was nice enough to get that fixed.
Got a battery for the, just picked it up today for the exit lights, emergency exit lights.
Yeah, we had emergency lighting. When the power went out, it was supposed to automatically switch on, and the battery that was supposed to do it didn't do it. So Brad ordered a new one. I don't know where you got it from.
You check these
Special
quarterly
order.
or something?
Yes. The nice thing is the generator kicks on within a minute. So as long as you don't move, just wait, you'll be okay.
The electrical panels over there have been both replaced very quickly, very efficiently.
Where were they moved to?
Just replaced. They're in the same
Replaced.
place.
Same place.
They're updated.
Okay.
And did you want to talk about that electrical cord in there, no? As part of your emergency management, or?
Show and tell?
Which cord am I talking about?
The one in the attic.
That's okay.
Like out there.
The one in the attic, probably.
Oh, no, that's nothing to do with emergency.
Well, it sort of is if it had burned down.
In order to be safe, A, you don't cut your grounding plug off. That's a no-no. And you don't take raw wire and stick it in the outlet. And this has been in our townhouse for some years. And Bob Sonnecker was nice enough to go in and rewire it properly for us.
What was that hanging off of?
And this was just a
Laying in the
beam.
attic.
A beam.
Yeah, but I mean, what was sticking into it?
What was
We
the
have
lights?
We think this was lighting for up in the tower, up by the bell.
Cool.
No.
No, not good. So
We can edit this
Well, it
out.
worked.
it paid to have the town thing.
It worked for how many years? Oh my God.
Anyway, I thought that was worth
I doubt anybody's going to volunteer to say they.
They did it? I did it, no. Yeah.
If you want to do a safety briefing for Wakefield, I'd say that's a good briefing aid.
Just don't tell them where you got it. Any other questions for the Joint Loss Management Committee? In that case, I'll turn it over to Clifton for a discussion of the budget. And I will say that there are one or two very minor items that I know are not there. I think the $25 for the gravel yield is not in there yet. And
$25 for the gravel yield where? The taxes?
yeah, under revenue, we should anticipate some revenue under excavation tax on line 3187.
Oh, yeah, that was a $25.
We have two gravel pits in town. We do get about $25, $30 a year for what is excavated as a tax. And so we have to put some in there showing we anticipate receiving revenue. But Clifton, I'll shut up and let you know.
Okay, I didn't realize we were having a public hearing on this yet.
Hand up over there already.
This is my question, is this the public budget hearing or not? Or is this just an informal go over the
It's an
rough draft?
informal, it hasn't been posted as a hearing, has it? Did it go in the newspaper as a public hearing?
Not in the newspaper, no.
Then no, this is not a public hearing, this is an informal go-over of a prelim to a public hearing.
Good.
Make it to the first meeting.
You could do it next meeting.
Well, we can do this preliminary.
You do the public hearing on the next
Just do the
meeting.
public hearing, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the preliminary.
Got it.
There are already more people here than there usually are for a budget hearing, so that's a good thing.
I still have questions and concerns about all of the salaries for the treasurer, or for the moderator and election workers. Did we fix that?
Yes. I received from Bill Marsh what's under elections 4142, and from the supervisors of the checklist also their budgets.
Well, we question whether that was sufficient.
Sufficient.
We personally,
Oh,
when we were reviewing this, questioned whether, given that there are 4 elections this year, if that was.
Oh, yeah, they went to
sufficient.
$2,800 versus 19. And then another,
And the moderator went to 900 from 200.
$300.
moderator, elected officials, $900. Okay. If that's what they said, I hope. I mean, this is a busy election cycle year, so, I mean, we've got, what, four elections this year.
They all seemed aware of it when I received that information.
Yes.
Help me understand how to read this.
Yeah.
I see.
Left to right.
Property tax other, and that's the total income. I can understand that under revenue.
Okay, under revenue, yep, the property tax other is our property taxes that were collected.
Okay, then I go to expenses, and how do I get close to that number?
You don't.
You don't.
That's my problem.
Okay, out of that number,
Okay,
out of our property taxes, not only comes the town's operating budget,
Yep.
which is the expenses list of what you see. What expenses you don't see is county and state tax
okay.
and school tax. That comes out of those property tax revenues that we get. Because we are issued, basically we are issued warrants by the county, by the state, and by the school board to collect taxes for them. And that's part of your tax bill that you get. A portion of that comes in to pay property tax, or a portion of your property taxes come in and pay the operating town's portion of the budget. But it also pays the school's taxes, it also pays the county tax and the state tax.
And that's all part of that line.
That one line. And we don't list those out separately in our operating budget.
Okay.
Because our operating budget is strictly expenses that are incurred by the town, for the town, not by the state or the county.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on that? Everybody had a chance to peruse this? I'm gonna do it like I normally do a regular budget hearing. We'll just go through it if there are any questions. We'll start with the revenue sections. Frank?
You've budgeted some for the highway block grant, rooms and meals and shared, is that the numbers you think you're gonna get, or is the state, likely to?
Yes, on 12/29, I haven't put it in yet. On 12/29 for room and meals tax, we received 31,786.32.
But is the state, this is one of the places where the state might be doing some cutting, right, is on
Yes.
these allocations? Is this a reasonable estimate for this coming year?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
My understanding was there's a website that Jessica found for me that you can go in and see what it will be approximately.
Okay.
And the highway block grant, we've already gotten confirmation on that one.
Okay, good.
Yep.
On revenue on the next page, I noticed you're doing 0 for town-owned property. I also noticed under expenses that you don't have an expense line for it. Did that get reconveyed to the former, do we no longer own that home?
Oh, we no longer own it.
Okay, so that's why.
If you come back up,
That's fine.
yeah, if you
I went to 0.
if you come down to,
I saw the repurchase of conveyed property was a big number, and I assumed
Yes.
that's
Right.
what that was. Okay,
Yes.
Good. That's good. Not being landlords is a good thing.
right.
Those are the figures, 412. Because that was one of his earlier questions.
Yep. Any other questions on the revenue section?
I assume that on line 3501, the sale of municipal property, that was the trucks and the equipment and the auction on equipment we had. The $8,305.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Income from us getting out of the highway business.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Good.
All of the proposed revenue section is a best guess through what we've done in the past that we put in. In September, we have to submit another form that will update those numbers with the state and DRA that give us a better estimate of our revenues for the year. But at the start of the year, we don't know how many people are going to sell off their vehicles and no longer register them. We don't know how many people are going to register dogs. So we have to take and look at historical data and say, this is how many we've done, this is what we're estimating our revenues are going to be, and then we adjust them in the fall before we set our tax rate. Any other questions on the revenue section? All right, let's go to the expenses. We'll start off with the executive section. Any questions?
I'm going to have one, but I'll wait until the end of the budget, and it's just on the office of computer supplies. I had a conversation with Lance, who pointed out that the server, that our computers are beginning to have a lifespan. It doesn't look like we're putting much money in the reserve account for office supplies. Sooner or later, especially the server, which is probably getting a little old now, it's like a 2003, I think, or something like that. I just wondered if you guys have given any thoughts on it. Lance expressed to me, and I'm sorry he's not here tonight, but you might want to have a chat with him about.
We didn't buy that back in 2003, did we?
Well, it's server 2003, and
Let's say, when did we buy that?
anyway, it's just that they have a lifespan.
Well, all computers have a lifespan.
Yeah, right, and it's been 3 or 4 years, I think, and then we're getting towards the 5th and 6th year.
And you lose 2 years.
We want to start putting a little more money in the reserve account, but that's at the end of the budget.
You lose 2 years the moment you take and open up the tape on the box.
Right. Worse than driving a car off a lot.
So what's the?
It's just,
But it's just a minor thing, but again, planning ahead, putting a little more in the reserve.
What month is this?
just 10.